Hear me out. Basically, I don't know if you guys have an idea why I'm here. Just raise your hands if you have an idea why I'm here or who I am. You have an idea?
Yes.
Okay.
To give us example for the presentation.
That's a secondary thing, yes. The first reason is I want to tell you guys a true story about the refugee crisis in the Greek islands. You know what's happening there, right? You guys know about the refugee crisis? اللاجئين
Yes.
اللي من سوريا العراق
Yes.
that are going all the way to Europe
Yes.
and dying on the way. Okay, I'm sure some of you guys are not familiar with it, some of you are, about what's happening with the refugees. And I'm sure all of you have heard of, Germany, Sweden, Austria, because that's where most of the refugees are going. But recently, I just came back from the Greek islands, the islands of Greece which are next to Turkey. And when I went there to just volunteer my time for a month, I said, let's see what's happening, see how I can help. And I was shocked by a lot of things. And the reason why I'm here is to create awareness, because not a lot of people here know what's happening. And the more awareness there is, hopefully the more people can help, because Kuwait's very small. Everybody knows everybody, Duwani is, and I don't know what. So everybody knows people. So I just ask you guys to spread the message when I'm done. And hopefully, if you have any questions, just leave them to the end, and hopefully I'll answer all your questions in the presentation. Okay, why am I doing this? As I explained, I'm trying to create awareness of the refugee crisis and the suffering that people, your fellow Arabs, your fellow Muslims, what they're going through. And second of all, when I was there, I realized there are no Arabs, there are no Arab volunteers helping. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem because most of these refugees don't speak English and don't speak Greek. So they have a hard time communicating with everyone. They don't know, if somebody's sick, they cannot tell the doctor what's wrong with them. If they need help with the police, they don't know how to communicate. So we need Arabs who speak both Arabic and English to be able to help, as well as other things which I'll mention later on in my slides. Okay, and I want to share my experiences as a volunteer, what it means to volunteer in another country, helping. So I'm going to explain exactly what we do as volunteers. Okay, you've all heard the term refugee, most of you, right? Refugee, لاجئ, you've heard of that. And there's another term which is in the media, used in the media, called asylum seeker. So basically there's a difference because the media, they mix them up together. A refugee is someone who escapes his home. An asylum seeker is someone who escapes his home because he's threatened, he feels threatened for the fear of persecution. Like let's say, for political beliefs or religious beliefs. Okay, if he stays in that country, he's dead. So he has to run away. That's an asylum seeker. Whereas a refugee, his life doesn't have to be in danger, but it could be maybe he's running away maybe from a natural disaster, an earthquake or a hurricane or whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that their lives are in danger. And I don't know what your perceptions are of refugees. You know what a perception is, right? What's your perception on what a refugee is? When you think of refugee, when you think of these people going, why do you think they're going? What's your idea?
They need some place to be safe there.
Okay, to be safe.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Looking for work?
They're looking for work. That term is called an economic migrant. A person who leaves his country to look for work. That's not really a refugee. But the thing is now in this crisis, everybody is getting mixed together. You have people who are looking for work. You have people who are looking for a safe place. They're all going together. So the European governments have a hard time telling the difference who is who. But yeah, just so you guys know a little bit of the differences between these terms. Okay, by the way, I took that picture. Sorry. That's how beautiful the country is. But it's so sad because it's so beautiful, Yet so many people are dying in these waters every day. And I personally have to see these dead bodies. And I had to bury a few people before I came. So basically every day there are refugees coming. And the thing is, Greece and these islands, I'm going to show you a map exactly where they are in the next slide. These Greek islands are not a destination for them. It's like a transit point. Because most of these people want to reach the rich countries, like Germany, Sweden, the UK, not that much, but like Western European countries. So when they're going through Greece, it's their first transit point in their hard journey to go all the way up to Western Europe and Northern Europe. Okay, so what's the problem? Why do they need help? Well, basically, I'm not sure if you're familiar or up to date with financial, economic news, but Greece is broke. Greece has no money. They're in debt to Germany, they're in debt to the IMF, they're in debt to everybody, and الحكومة مفلسة بالعربي. So they don't have the money or the resources to help people. Everything that is happening on these islands is not from the government. I mean, the government's doing what it can, but it's broke. So we're relying on volunteers who come and donate their time to help, and people, individuals, who come and donate food, money, clothes, cleaning supplies, medical supplies. Everything is reliant on donations and volunteer work. And here, like for example, we have a lady from Sweden with her husband. They came from Sweden to help. This is a lady from Canada. From the UK, she's the founder of the organization I was working with. And you have Greek, also, you have Greek volunteers. And it's so nice because a lot of the Greeks don't have money. Or they don't have work, but they're still coming and helping and giving what they can. So that's a really good side of humanity that you see. Okay, the procedures to process the refugees, what happens once they come on the island. Basically, not a single refugee that I saw arrived dry. They're all soaking wet, because I'm going to explain later what the smugglers, the Maharibin, what they do. They throw them in the water and let them swim. And some of them die, some of them reach. The ones that reach, they're all wet. So what happens is the Coast Guard and the port authorities, you know what Coast Guard is, right? Yeah? No?
خفر السواحل.
خفر السواحل. Exactly, thank you. Thank you, Mr. So basically they pick them up. They bring them to the shore where people are waiting with blankets and I don't know what to dry them. They get their names and then they bring them, like for example on the island I was, there's a refugee camp, thankfully. So they bring them to us at the camp, Mukhayyam. They bring them to us. We provide them dry clothes, a hot meal, calm them down, get them chai, tea, just to relax. And once they're relaxed, the police come again, take their fingerprints. And after they take their fingerprints, within 24 hours, they give them a piece of paper that is like a passport for them to go only inside Greece. So they can get outside of the camp, go wherever, and go up to the border, take a plane or take a ferry, abara, take it up and go up to the border. So I'm going to explain that also in the map, where they go. And Syrians usually get 6 months inside the country, and Iraqis and other nationalities get 3 months. So what happens to the relatives who arrive, who survived, but their father died, or their son died, or somebody they were with died? What happens then? They're usually helped by the UNHCR, the United Nations, they helped with them with a hotel, somewhere to stay until they finish the burial procedures, so they bury their loved ones. And the Greek government has been helpful in providing a Muslim cemetery for free, and the burial is free for the refugees. Okay, now the refugees who need medical attention, some of them, because they've been in the water so long, they swallowed so much water that they're having difficulty breathing, they're sick, so we take them to the hospital. And when we take them to the hospital, the police come to the hospital and they do the procedures, the fingerprints, I don't know what, and everything, if they can. And I stayed in the hospital for 2 nights when I was there. I was helping some of the Iraqi families that arrived, and their stories are so sad, but these stories are happening every day. There was a 14-year-old girl, 14, she's a little kid. She lost her mother, she lost her father, she lost her sister, she lost her brother. She was all alone. She was orphaned. We had to take care of her. And right across from her is another lady who was in the water for 6 hours before the Coast Guard came and picked her up for 6 hours. And she was with her 6-month-old baby. She became so tired from being in the water for so long, she couldn't hold on to her baby anymore. So she let go of her baby and her baby died, drowned. And I had to go with her husband to the police station to identify his son. And when I saw this Iraqi guy, he was double my size. He was a big guy, he looked tough. But when he saw his baby in the police station, he curled up into a ball and just started crying. And I just looked at him, like even the police who are seeing this every day, the police started crying. So you have, it's so sad. And another lady had to choose between 2 of her sons. Who dies and who lives when she was in the water? She couldn't hold on to both of them. She had to let one go. So can you imagine how hard that is to choose between one of your sons, who dies and who lives? These stories that I'm telling you are not rare. They are happening almost every day. And these are just a few stories out of so many. Okay, so what route do the refugees take? Right here, right across from Turkey, these are the Greek islands. That's how close they are to Turkey. So basically, when they come on the islands, after they get their paper that I told you about, they can either take a ferry, a barge, to Athens, the capital, which is 15 hours, and then they have to take another bus from Athens to Saloniki. Saloniki is a border town with Macedonia. Or Macedonia, I don't know how you guys say it. I don't know how to say it in Arabic. Macedonia or Macedonia? Macedonia? Okay, sorry. Yeah, Macedonia. It's on the border. Another 7-hour bus trip. Or the people who have the money take a flight straight here, and then they go from Macedonia to Serbia, to Belgrade, to Serbia, Croatia, Hungary. Hungary closed their borders. Slovenia, Austria, and then to wherever they're going. So what's happening is, a lot of you are probably asking, even before I started talking, why are these people dying? What's happening? Okay, they're going by boat. What's the problem? The problem is in every crisis, in every war, in every situation, you have people that take advantage of human suffering. And this is every day and different situations. So basically, you see these boats. I'm sure you've seen these in the news. I'm not sure if you guys have seen them. I'm getting the guys saying yes. What about the ladies? No?
They probably did.
They probably did. All right. So basically what happens is, what the smugglers do, Muharribin Bashar, they promise the refugees, after the refugees pay approximately 3,000 euros per person to get them to the islands. They tell them, we're gonna put you on a nice boat, nice big boat, only 50 people on the boat, and we're gonna take you all the way to the shore, Sahel, of the Greek islands. No problem, right? What happens is, let me show you on the map again. What happens is, they take them walking in the forest for around, some of them told me 17 hours, some of them told me 20 hours, depends. They take them so the Turkish police don't catch them. They take them all the way to where the boat is at night. And when the refugees see these boats, They get scared. They're like, no, we're not going on this. It's dangerous. So, and instead of like 50 people, like they promised, it's 150 people. So they're all on top of each other, as you can see. And if the refugees refuse to get on the boat, the smugglers take out their guns. You either go on the boat or you're dead. So they have no choice but to get on the boat. So, let me show you, turn to the map again. From here to here, like while we're on the island, we can see Turkey. That's how close it is. It's probably like the distance on the boat, like from here to Felice. It's like very close. But because the smugglers are scared of the Greek Coast Guard catching them, they take a longer route. They go from here around, which is 6-7 hours. And instead of taking them to the shore, they go a little bit closer to the shore, like a few kilometers, jump. Even if you have babies, jump. And if you don't jump, they take out their guns again. You jump or we shoot you. So they have to jump. Some of them can swim, some of them can't. Sometimes the currents, the tayar qawi, and it just takes them away. So it's a disaster. What's going on? Okay, so what does it take to be a volunteer? Like, let's say one of you or one of your family or your friends decides, okay, I want to help. I want to help my fellow humans. What do they have to do? Well, each person does whatever he or she can do. Like, there's so much stuff to do, you can sort the donations. Like, we have donations of clothes, sort them out. Women's clothing, men's clothing, children's clothing, sizes, I don't know what. Like, basic stuff like that. Cleaning. For the first 3 days I was there, I was a garbage man. I was picking up garbage, clearing out the camp of, like the dirty stuff and the dirty mattresses and I don't know what. And I fell off a garbage truck, hurt my knee on the second day. But it was good. Translating, interpreting, just going, helping. I'm going to explain later what I did with the interpreting and translating. Handing out food, supplies, cooking, anything, like any little thing helps. You don't need to, be Superman and do everything. Anything you can do is added value. And making lists of refugees needs or special needs. Like, for example, what I would do, I go to each individual family or refugee, sit with them. Blah, blah, blah. What do you need? I tell them, what do you need? Most of them don't have clothes because the clothes are wet. They don't have anything. They're coming just as they are. So I see what they need. Women's things, clothes, deodorant, soap, shampoo, coats, jackets, anything. I take that list, take it to the headquarters, where other volunteers are sorting out the donations. I tell them this is what each person needs. They take the list, make a bag for everyone. I go back to the camp. Okay, Flana Flani, okay, this is your bag. Flana, this is your bag. And what we do is, regardless, with the Helping Hands of Roads, which is the organization that I was with, we would make a rucksack for everybody. A rucksack is like a school bag that you carry on your back. We put everything that they need, the necessities. Shampoos, soaps, deodorants, toothbrush. For women, we put their women's stuff inside. Children, we put them like coloring books, toy, whatever, for them to take with them on their journey as they go up. Okay. So, what did I do as a volunteer? Basically, I did everything that was mentioned on the previous slide. And I was dealing with grieving families. I'd sit with the families who lost, loved ones. And, try to make them as comfortable as possible. Even though that's hard to do because somebody just lost their family member. But just the fact that you speak Arabic, you have no idea how this is like a godsend to them. Like when they see that you speak Arabic, Ya can you help me? Allah jobbik, you know, they come and I'm like, oh my God, like just the fact that you speak Arabic, it's therapy for them. They can express themselves to you. They think that they're not alone. And when they see their fellow Arab or fellow Muslim helping them, it makes them feel really good. Taking people to the hospital. This little Syrian girl, she's only 3 years old. They called me at night. They're like, we have this 3-year-old Syrian girl. She's very sick. She has a high fever. She's please, it's an emergency. So I go and I take her and her mom to the hospital. I took care of her. We got her medicine, and I was translating with the doctor because the doctor doesn't understand Arabic and they don't understand English. So I was, interpreting for the doctor. And after that, she became my best friend. She was always like coming and she's like holding me, and it's like that feeling makes it all worth it. Like, it's tiring, it's stressful, but when you see a smile on this little girl's face, when she tells me, "Ma bidi mama bidi amno," and she grabs my hair and she wants me to stay, that's the best feeling in the world. Helping out translating for the poor police in the hospitals. Basically, I'd go to the police station almost every day, and I just, because they do interrogations, and I don't know what, so I'd be there with them, translating, helping, signing, whatever needs to be done. Identifying dead bodies with their relatives. I had to go in, because one thing I forgot to mention, the hospitals, the morgue in the hospital where they keep the dead bodies, they're full. There's no place to put dead bodies anymore because there's so many. So they bring in shipping containers and putting them outside the hospital and putting the dead bodies there. So I had to go with a lady who lost her husband. He was in the sea for 1 month, dead, until they found his body. I went into that container with her and just seeing dead bodies all around me. All these people are people who died trying to get to safety. And the smell is still with me now. I can still smell it. And it's sad, but I did it because I can. Volunteers don't usually do this stuff, but I did everything. I didn't care. I just wanted to help. And burying dead bodies, I buried the dead body before I came. Because, like I said, there's not enough people to help bury. So it was me and this other guy that were doing the work, digging the grave, putting the body inside. And then the imam was there, and he was, praying on the body. And coordinating with the Red Cross and the UNHCR. So anybody that needs my help, they'd call me. The Red Cross, the UNHCR, the hospital, the police. Anywhere, I just go and do what I can. Here are just some pictures. This is, because what I liked about the organizations there is that they help each other. So here, there was another island with another organization, charity. They didn't have enough supplies to give to the refugees. So we went and we sent them donations and supplies to the other organization to help the refugees that are there. So it's really good teamwork, coordination. Nobody's there, for their own kashka, like we are humanitarian and we help people. No, everybody's helping everybody. Everybody's like equal. Here, this is me on the garbage truck, cleaning stuff before I fell off. Here, this picture is really hard for me to see. It's some refugees that just arrived, and their son drowned. And, everybody's like crying over the body. And this is a sight, unfortunately, that we see every day on all the islands. Not just the island that was every single island. This happens. Every day. Here, this is the lady that lost her husband when we were there for the burial. This is me burying the body. These are little refugees from Syria and Iraq. They love this little guy, this little kitten right here. He's like the mascot of the refugee camp. We found him in the police car. The police were bringing refugees to us. And then we heard, meow, meow, meow. We're like, where's that sound coming from? The cat was stuck in the exhaust of the car. So we rescued him, and now he is the boss now in the camp. Whenever we have children coming, he makes them smile, he makes them happy. He comes in. Even the kitten is doing his volunteering. So, yeah. So, where are the Arabs? I get asked this question every day by volunteers, by refugees themselves, by the police, everybody. Like, where are the Arabs? We have volunteers coming from all over the world, across the world, coming to help. But why aren't the Arabs coming helping their fellow brothers, their Arab brothers, their Muslim brothers? Or is it just talk? So I have no answer for that. So basically, I found out that there are Arabs who are volunteering, but they're volunteering in Germany, in Sweden, in Austria, in Nemset. But these countries are already developed countries. They're rich countries. They can take care of the refugees. And second of all, these countries are the final destinations for the refugees. So khalas, their journey is finished. You know what I mean? The governments cannot take care of them. Where they need help is in the poor countries. The countries whose governments cannot take care of them. That's where we as volunteers should go in and help. And for example, the port police, they only have one translator who's not Arab. He's Greek, but he speaks Arabic. For all the islands. So, you have thousands of people and you're only one person. It's not feasible. The UNHCR have only one translator who's used in certain situations, which is also not enough. So we need to, as Arabs, we need to do our best to help each other. Like, forget politics, forget religion, forget these things. It's just purely being a decent person and helping someone who needs help, regardless of where they're from, regardless what they believe in, regardless what their politics is. This is the mindset that we should have. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier about the ones in Germany and stuff. Okay, so here's a list of some NGOs operating on the Greek islands, some of the charities, local charities that are there. You can check them out if you want to take out your phones, take a picture of this list. You can just go on Facebook. They're all on Facebook. Helping Hands Abroad, this is who I was with. I was helping. The UNHCR, the UN, the Greek Red Cross, Kos Kindness. Kos is a different island. Leros Solidarity Network. Leros is another island. Solidarity Simi now, I'm working with them too. And I'm gonna take a group of volunteers with me. And we're gonna go to Simi Island with these guys. They're really good people. Starfish Foundation. So basically, as I mentioned, all the NGOs are working together. They're coordinating with each other just to help the refugees. And their main goal is to help refugees and not their own agenda. Because a lot of people, when they hear charities or these organizations, they say, they just want money, they just want to steal, and they just want their own prestige, and we're helping people, look, give us money. No, that's not how it is with most of them. And I've personally seen that, and everything that is donated goes straight to the refugees. When I took them personally to the refugees. So basically, here's some information if you guys want. You have Helping Hands Abroad. Have their email, helpinghandsabroad@gmail.com. Their mailing address, if anybody wants to donate some stuff, this is the address that you send it to. And you have to include the telephone number. Bank details, they still didn't get a bank account for the transfers, but they're working on that. But anyways, if you guys want any more information, just go on Facebook, Helping Hands Abroad, type in the search of Facebook, and it'll have all the information that you need and what they do. The second organization is Solidarity Simi. This is their website, solidaritysimi.org. Their mailing address, if you guys want to donate anything, or if you know anyone who wants to donate. The bank details, right here, if you guys would also, if you want to take a picture, whatever. This is all the bank details if you need it. And you can find them on Facebook to get some information. So basically, any questions?